First, before we start off, anything I'm going to call up the grade, to give us the indication and the points.
Each of us there has had difficult times throughout the year, but we are very grateful that we are able to attend today. Please help each of us better our community through our designs, recommendations, and public service to our community. We pray that we honor each other and the awardees not only today and this week, but throughout the year. May God bless each of you, our medical professionals, our law enforcement, and the military personnel serving abroad and here. Amen.
Invitation. Really appreciate that. We just went through another election, folks, right? And I was blessed. I was reelected here to District 10, and I'm very happy to be reelected into this position. I've really enjoyed it. And you know what I enjoy the most? I enjoy the most getting out into the community and meeting people, getting involved with other organizations just like yours, I'm a member, I'm past president and regional vice president of the Society of American Military Engineers, SAME, and some of y'all have been involved in that group as well. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, it's great to see everybody out this morning. There's an anticipation here in San Antonio about things kind of loosening up a little bit with the coronavirus and people getting together a little bit more. I've been to several events already out in the community where people are just so happy, if you will, to get back out of the house instead of video teleconferences all the time, getting back into a normal atmosphere of getting together, the fellowship. I mean, meetings, being able to be in your pajamas at home and wear a nice shirt, you know, that's great for a while, but you miss something. You miss something with interacting with other people, sitting down at a table, you know, in a meeting and looking people in the eye and being able to do that communication, personal communication with folks that you're working with or customers. And wow, customers, that's your number one priority, is serving the customer. It is for me. And Raul just came in, Raul Ubitas, he's one of my staff members, and that's one thing that I preach all the time, is about customer service. Look, if you're not providing good customer service out there, you're not going to have a job. Your company is not going to be successful. But if you can show that customer service and the care and the attention to them, that makes all the difference in the world. And you will be rehired in future jobs, whether it's for the city, and I work very closely with Rozzy, and what a great accomplishment he made with being named Engineer of the Year. That is just fantastic. He's a top-class individual that really understands what customer service is. And look where he is today. Over one of the biggest departments in our organization. We have 12,000, remember that, 12,000 city employees. And we got openings out there if y'all are interested, so check it out. We are always advertising for quality people to come in and help out. And I know that a lot of you actually work servicing the city, and thank you very much for that. You know, looking a little bit at my history, I can't believe they put my picture in that big long bio in your programs there, but I've been blessed. I just call myself a little old country boy from Giddings, Texas, and there's something to be said for that. Nothing about the urban areas, growing up in the urban areas, but in the little small communities, everybody knew everybody and knew what you were doing also. So you had to mind your P's and Q's pretty closely, because, you know, somebody else could get you in trouble with your parents if they wanted to. But I was not used to the big city atmosphere. And when I graduated from high school and went to A&M, guess what I was going in to be? Anybody got a wild guess? It wasn't in construction science or building construction. I was going there to be a dentist. Now, I went to summer school the summer before my freshman year and breezed through all the classes. I went to Blinn Junior College just for some biology and history and English, get some of those out of the way. And man, I breezed through them, kind of like high school, didn't have to study, and you know, made straight A's. Man, I got to A&M, chemistry, biology, physics, they tore me a new one, let me tell you. And I was on scholastic probation the very first semester, and I had to make up my mind at that point, saying, okay, am I going to go back to Giddings, take over my dad's business, which was a great business, he did very well over the years, or be successful in school and get out and get a great job somewhere. And I said to myself, you know, it wouldn't be bad to take over Dad's business, a plumber, but let me tell you, that is hard work. And I, you know, back to those days, I said, you know, I think I'll stay in school. And I did, and I was successful and really enjoyed college. I squeezed 4 years into 5, like most A&M grads, But yeah, I really enjoyed it there, and put my nose to the grindstone and really worked hard to get out of that school. For the life of me, I don't know how I got out of there, but I did. I was successful getting out of college, and I had a decision point after my sophomore year. I was in the Aggie band, and you had to make a decision to either go into ROTC or just stay in the Corps to have fun. And I said, wow, ROTC, let me see. None of my family had been in the military or anything, so I said, I don't know what this is all about, but you know, I'm interested in that. And I looked at it a little bit more, and man, they'd pay for your tuition, they'd pay for your books, and guess what else you got every month? $100. I said, wow, man, I'm getting $100, I'm in. So I went ahead and joined, but then I had to make another decision. Are you going to be Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marines? And again, none of my family, I couldn't reach out to anybody, get any advice from that. So I thought about it. I said, Marines, nah, that's too tough. Navy, you know, you'd get on a ship and you'd be out there for 6 months and you know, not be able to see family, that kind of thing. Nah, I'll pass on that. So I said, Army, you know, yeah, I think I could do the Army, or Air Force, yeah, that sounds good. I said, okay, I got to make that decision. So I took a quarter, and you know, one side of the quarter has an eagle on it, the other side is the George Washington. I said, okay, Army is Washington's head, or Air Force for the eagle, you know, flying eagle. Flipped it, came down on the eagle, Air Force, and that's where I went. So, but I enjoyed that tour. Let me tell you, there are some fine individuals and fine engineers in the military, and if you haven't ever met any, go out and meet some of those folks. They have done excellent work over the years in constructing and maintaining our infrastructure on bases, and you know, they forward deploy into wartime operations, and a lot of folks got hurt by combat, and my hat's off to them. And we need to remember those folks that are in our career fields that are protecting our freedoms out in the front lines out there. So if you see folks around, if they say they're in the engineering career field in any one of the services, you know, say, hey, thank you for what you've done, and thank you for being out there in those front lines out there. But yeah, the Air Force is great. I learned a lot. That's what kind of prepared me for what I'm doing today. After the Air Force, I retired back in 2000. I went to a firm, it was called Shaw Infrastructure and Environment, and worked with them for several years. And then I moved to another firm called Tetra Tech, and they still have an office here in San Antonio, and worked for them for another, gosh, nine, maybe 10 years. And after that, and I was, you know, out there doing business development, marketing, project management, that kind of thing, and all over the world. We did a lot of work in Afghanistan, Iraq. We had work going on in Japan, Guam, all over the place. So I got to travel a lot, even out of the Air Force and into the private sector. So learned a lot from that. So I had experience in the government, and then I had experience in the private sector. And that really helped me to understand what's going on and what I'm doing today. So back in 2013, I totally retired. Said, I'm going to do what I want, when I want, get to take naps every day. And oh, by the way, that's the biggest thing that I miss today, is taking naps after lunch. But got to totally retire. But after 4 years, I still felt that need for community service. And you know, I was on some boards and commissions. The Building Standards Board, I was chairman of that, and dealing again with construction and looking at places that shouldn't be there, they need to be torn down or modified, that kind of thing. So I was involved with the city in a number of those committees, and my predecessor kind of took me over to the side, Mike Gallagher, and he said, you know, Clayton, I'm not going to run again. Why don't you think about running for office? You've been involved with the city. You got a great background in careers. Why don't you think about doing that? And I said, you know, that would be an awesome experience to give back to the community as an elected official. And so I said, sure, I can do that. And it really, again, the experience that I gained from the Air Force and in private industry, dealing with budgets, dealing with other people, and providing that leadership was the key factor that I decided, yes, I was going to do that. But to my surprise, 9 other people wanted to do the same thing. So I ran. Back in 2017, there were 10 of us running for District 10. And I kind of look at that saying, wow, that's kind of weird. And I'm the 10th city councilman for District 10 also. I'm number 10. So I said, man, this is all coming together. This is great. But again, I was blessed to be elected into that position. I'm still there today. I'm looking forward to the future, the next 2 years, and things that I can affect here in District 10, but not only in District 10, but for the entire city. And that's where you come in also. Look around just in this building and outside, all the built environment that we experience every day, and everybody out there go to work, drive on roads, get water, sewer, all of that stuff. You're the tip of the spear on all of that. You should be proud of your accomplishments on any project out there. Once people get excited when they see some construction going up, and they'll have a groundbreaking ceremony and a ribbon cutting and all that kind of thing. Y'all need to step forward and be proud of those projects. Step forward and be recognized for that. And I think that's where, in the engineering community and construction community, we kind of take a back seat, watch all the gala of facility openings and that kind of thing, and I think we should take more of a front seat out there and let people know, hey, we did this. We're responsible for this. And because of us, you're enjoying these facilities that you go in and live, work, and play in, and get to work in, that kind of thing. So think about that and take that step forward and be recognized for the things that you're doing and the accomplishments that you've made to this great community of San Antonio. We have so much to be thankful for. We're blessed here in this community, and we need to parlay that in your positions to attract additional people coming into those jobs. Because if you don't step forward and be recognized, kids growing up in wanting to be in the engineers, or maybe wanting to be a dentist and they don't know, they will recognize that, hey, that's something that I could do also. And with the education, providing scholarships, which is very, very important to a lot of people, I think that all plays together so well that step forward, be recognized, and make sure that people understand it's because of us that you have that facility or facilities or roads or whatever it is. It's very, very important to advertise and promote your profession out to everybody else, because that like I said, that carries on through families and down to children to say, hey, man, that looks like that's exciting. That's something I want to do when I grow up. So, I am, again, I'm very blessed on what I've been able to do during my lifetime, where I'm at today on City Council. And if any of y'all live in District 10 or anywhere here in the city, what makes it so neat is I get my staff, who does an excellent job. They do so good that we have people calling from around the city into District 10 saying, hey, I need your help. Because of our customer service attitude here in our office. And that makes me proud of my staff and the things that we're able to accomplish, again, not only for District 10, but for the entire city. So I appreciate the invitation out here today. I hope you gained just a little nugget in there about, and I'm serious, step forward, make sure people understand where these facilities and utilities are coming from, so that we can generate that interest for future generations on providing that same level of service out there. So, man, this is great. I love talking to groups like this because I feel like I'm back at home, back in my roots in the industry itself. But It's great to see y'all out here. I heard we had a rainstorm again last night. Didn't wake me up. I was out cold. So I hope there wasn't any damage in town. At least I haven't heard of any. But appreciate y'all coming out here today. Congratulations on all the award winners, and again, I don't think Razi is here, but congratulations to him also on his selection. So thank y'all very much. I've got time for questions if there's any questions. Anybody got any questions for me?
What outfit are you in?
I was in the white band. I was back then. There were only two units of the band, and I think that evolved into B battery with the band. So anyway, I was in the white band, not the maroon band. No other questions out there? Dang. Sometimes I can get some hard questions. There we go. Yes, ma'am.
You may have said it, I'm so sorry. What did you end up graduating? What degree did you end up graduating with instead of dentistry?
Yeah, well, again, I wanted to be a dentist. And, you know, I am so thankful. I cannot see myself working in people's mouths my entire career. I'm sorry. Nothing against dentists. I think that's a fine profession, but I am so glad I flunked out, or went on SCO-Pro the very first semester. But I went into what they call building construction. Today it's called construction science, but it's a great all-around type of degree, because you take in civil engineering, architecture, all the different career fields. So yeah, it was great. It was great. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Councilman. Thank you for being with us today. My question is, with the passing of Proposition A, how do you see that affecting the upcoming bond?
Well, I don't know if y'all knew, but I was the only one that voted against putting that on the ballot, because I see that as a threat to our infrastructure, and some of that bond money going to other requirements that basically we're now going to give the city council a blank check to do whatever they want with bond money. I don't agree with that. Bonds were originally designed for infrastructure projects, so that pot's going to get smaller. Excuse me. And I don't agree with that. And it's going to affect all of you in here also, unless you're in the housing industry. They're wanting to put more money towards affordable housing and lower the price of housing for those that need it. That's all well and good, but again, that's going to make our pot of money for infrastructure projects smaller. You know, and we're looking, the last bond was about $850 million. We're now projecting this next one in 2022 will probably be around 650 to 700. So it's already getting smaller. And then with this, who knows what's going to come out of the for the proposition for this next bond on what projects are going to be included in that bond. So I'm concerned about that, as well as y'all should be as well, because that's going to affect the size and the amount of money that's available for our infrastructure here in San Antonio. And did you know that today we've got a backlog of $3.5 billion? We will never get there. In fact, we're only going to get further behind every year, because we just don't have those kind of resources, and our tax base isn't big enough to handle that load. So bonds were our only way to kind of make up that difference, and now we're not going to have that much anymore. So just be aware that could affect your companies as well out there. Anything else? That was a good question. Thank you. Anything else? If not, well, thank y'all very much again. I really appreciate y'all's time and attention, and we'll see y'all around, I'm sure. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Councilman Perry. That was a wonderful speech, especially being in person, like we mentioned, and for bringing out the importance of engineering, our field, and how it affects us each day. So with that being said, I'm going to continue on our program. Before I read the proclamation for this year, I want to give a special thanks to all the volunteers that made this event possible. It's a beautiful venue, it's a beautiful morning. So I'd like to recognize Chelsea Linwood. She was the she was the proclamation breakfast chair, along with Angie Velasquez and Jesus Santos, who were here bright and early this morning making sure everything was perfect for everyone here. So thank you so much. Also, I'd like to recognize Kara Heasley. She's the E-Week chair for the whole week. So thank you so much for all your hard work. Along with Ray Mendez, who is the E-Week director for TSPE. So again, thank you so much. To my right here, you can see all the sponsors that we have for E-Week this year. It's been said among the table earlier today that we weren't sure if E-Week was going to happen this year because it was supposed to happen in February because that is when the official E-Week happens. But we had to postpone because, you know, COVID. So even up to a couple months, we weren't sure if E-Week was going to happen, but it did. And with all their hard work, it's been a great first event. So thank you for everything that everyone else has done here, and also for all the sponsors. And I think if you see your program on page 3 or 4, you can see the list of all the E-Week sponsors. We have a whole bunch, so that's really nice to see that everyone rallied together and helped to make this come to life, especially since all this money goes to scholarships at the end of the day. With that being said, I'm going to read the proclamation for this year. Keep in mind, we're doing this a little bit later, but nonetheless, it's still recognizing all our engineers around San Antonio. So this is what it looks like. It's pretty. So it says, City of San Antonio Proclamation. Whereas the Texas Society of Professional Engineers, Bexar County Chapter, and the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE San Antonio Branch, will observe National Engineers Week. It should have been February 23rd to 27th of 2020. And whereas Engineers Week serves to promote and acknowledge the contribution engineers make throughout the country in all fields of engineering. And whereas during this week-long celebration, TSPE Bexar Chapter and ASCE San Antonio Chapter will host an engineer. We will not host an Engineer for the Day program, but we will. That is what we did in the past, where the students were interested in the engineering profession would spend a day with the office. But due to COVID, we cannot do that today. So whereas efforts of engineers help drive our economy, protect our environment, ensure public safety, and help improve the quality of life for the San Antonio community. Now therefore, I, Ron Ehrenberg, Mayor of the City of San Antonio, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim February 23rd to 27th of 2020 to be National Engineers Week in San Antonio, Texas, and extend best wishes for a most successful event. With that being said, I want to quickly go over the events that will be happening for the rest of the week, because this is the first event. I think on page 3 of your pamphlet you can see that we started off today with our proclamation breakfast. Tomorrow we have our target shooting tournament and SEAT social dinner at Mission Ridge Range. Then we will be honoring the past presidents at the Past Presidents Luncheon at Old San Francisco Steakhouse on Thursday. To end the night, we're going to have the SMPS E-Week Mixer at Chicken and Pickle at 4:30. The E-Week Golf Tournament will be on Friday at Brackenridge Park Golf Course. The Family Fun 5K Run Walk will be Saturday morning at McAllister Park at 7 a.m., bright and early. And to top off the week, we're going to have the Engineer Banquet at the Botanical Gardens. So hopefully everyone can make it out to 1, 2, or maybe all of the events that are coming up for the rest of the week. So now we're going to get to the best part of the day. I'm going to ask Mr. George Salama to come up and give the bio for the Young Engineer of the Year.
Good morning, everyone. My name is George Salama, and it is really my pleasure to introduce to you my daughter, Helen. Helen went to Texas A&M University on a full scholarship from the Terry Foundation, and that's due to excellence in scholastic and as well as community service as well. And she couldn't stay put there. While she was there, she formed a committee or a group to help with the high schools at-risk people. And she attracted about 12 people from the Terry Foundation to help her with the at-risk students. And after graduation, she went to Fries and Nichols company, which is a consulting and engineering company. And she chose them based on the objectives of Fries and Nichols of excellence in engineering and community outreach as well, which aligned well with her own objectives. And while she is in Fries and Nichols, she's also assisting in community outreach with the programs there as well. And they gave her an award for it as well. In professional engineering organizations, she has taken the PE within 1 year and passed it from her being an engineer, which was an accomplishment. And she joined the American Water Works Association, and she couldn't stay still. She became the chair of the education there as well. And in contribution to the community, and what she did is she joined the Engineers Without Borders and helped with a Nicaragua project there. And she, with the Water for People organization, she helped raise funds for international assistance for waterworks. And the Engineering Ministries International organization, she helped with a project, a water project in Chile as well. And in her church here in San Antonio, the TARP route, she is also mentoring and helping with both students and refugees as well in San Antonio. She was awarded the Emerging Engineer Award from the AWWA, and she was awarded from Fries and Nichols the award for community outreach as well. As a father and a fellow engineer, I hope, Helen, that you'll continue serving in both your work and on your community. And I congratulate you on being the Engineer of the Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salama. With that being said, I'd like to have your Young Engineer of the Year for 2021 come up and accept her award. Mrs. Helen Salama.
Good morning. I just want to reiterate the fact that being honored this award is not only a reflection of personal choices, but truly a reflection of everyone at this table, as well as the Fries and Nichols table as well. These people have invested in me so much time, energy, and mentoring that has allowed me to basically have an overflow of that knowledge as well as experience to be able to travel to different countries and serve in communities in need, as well as serve in San Antonio as well. And I couldn't have done it without them. And I'm so thankful to have these opportunities, as well as have the ability and really to be awarded the Young Engineer of the Year award, as well as just being recognized for community service means so much. And it stems from a passion of wanting to help people and knowing that basically I've been so well loved by others and so blessed that there's many engineers in the room, so when you have capacity and overflow, there's just kind of, what comes out of that is really a radiating factor that I'm just so honored to be able to share with our city as well as different countries. So thank you so much for being here today.
Congratulations, Helen. Before we wrap this up, I accidentally forgot to give a quick overview of what E-Week is. So I'd like to do that now since we have a couple of minutes. So did you know that E-Week is always celebrated at the time of George Washington's birthday, which is in February, not May? But of course, course, due to circumstances, we have to observe, or we have to celebrate in May. But this year was going to be February 23rd to 27th of 2020. And the reason that we celebrate E Week at this time is because George Washington is known as the father of this country. He's been described as America's first engineer, notably for the surveying work that he did. The celebration of National Engineers Week was started in 1951 by the National Society of Professional Engineers. Engineers Week celebrates the positive contributions that engineers make to society and is a catalyst for outreach across the country to kids and adults alike. It is also a time for engineers to emphasize the importance of learning math, science, and the technical skills. The Bear chapter of TSPE, the San Antonio branch of ASCE, and the San Antonio chapter of SMPS, honoring the area's engineering community by hosting a week-long list of events, which we mentioned earlier, starting with today's Proclamation breakfast, where of course we've honored our Young Engineer of the Year, Helen Zalama. In the past, we would have had also an Engineer for a Day program, which has been a really big hit and contribution to the community, because local high school students are able to go to a engineering firm and learn what it is to work at a engineering firm for a day. But of course, this year we are not able to. But one wonderful provision that we just learned about yesterday is that we are able to live stream this event, and I think all of the other events this week. And then we also have our own YouTube channel, which will be able to watch the events at a later date. So I think that's what the high schools are doing this year. So they're still getting a little bit of a little taste of our week-long event. So for a full list of activities that will help raise money for scholarships, you can always see our website at TSPE. We also have our Facebook and of course flyers that are on the table, like the pamphlet that I mentioned earlier. So again, thank you so much for everyone being here. Congratulations to Helen. Please join us if you can to our events that are happening later on this week. And everyone have a great day.